All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to an OTM live show special for Sunday's AEW pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. I am the host of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, Kyle Gagliardi, and tonight I am joined by a good friend of mine. You might have heard his voice on a podcast or two before. He is a former special guest of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. He's the very first ever OTM AEW champion, no longer the AEW champion, though. He is Ian Garavaglia. How you doing, Ian?
Dude, I'm good, man. I'm just living it up right now. You know, that's all it is.
You just got back from B-dubs, didn't you?
I did. I just got some beat-ups.
What is the go-to B-dubs order for you, Ian G?
Okay. All right. You're going to say you to this right away, but listen up.
Okay.
There's a thing called salted caramel. And
Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you?
My God, is it good? Have you ever tried it?
I can't say I have.
Okay. Well, so basically think of the best honey barbecue you could get. Add a little bit of caramel to that. Add some pretzel salt to the top. Boom. It's literally just sweet honey barb. It's so good. You need to try it.
I get the sweet and the salty dynamic because that's a thing. People enjoy that. But, like, please tell me you don't bring ranch into the equation or blue cheese.
You do bring ranch.
Dude.
It's so good.
So this is what's wrong. The age gap right here. I'm a millennial. Are you technically a millennial?
I think I'm Gen Z, actually.
You are Gen Z. That's the problem with this world. You would like. So mine is usually Asian Zing boneless. Have you ever tried Asian Zing?
I have.
I mess around with Asian Zing, and then sometimes it's medium. Sometimes if I'm feeling froggy, I go to mango habanero. But salted caramel, that's your move.
It is. It's the move. It's the only move right now.
I don't know if that's the move, but hey, what is the move, Ian? Is the Overtime Sports Network. This video right here, this live show is brought to you by OTSN. Show some love to us on the social media sites @_OTSN. Give this video a like right now if you're watching live on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any content that OTSN has to offer. Also, Ian, just like OTSN, you are an ambassador for Raze Energy. If you go to repsports.com, use code OTSN, you will save $5 off any order. What do you got there? Show it off.
I got me a Phantom Freeze right here. It's actually my last can, and I need to get my new order. I'm actually going to be getting some more South Beach because it is the fucking best.
You're a South Beach guy, and for those that don't know what that is, that's like a coconut energy drink, right?
Pina colada. It is. I know a lot of energy drinks tried the pina colada flavor. Man, they nailed it. I was
going to ask you too, what is your favorite flavor that Raze Energy has to offer?
I don't know. It's between South Beach and I like Voodoo a lot. It's the orange creamsicle.
Yeah,
both really good.
I just ran out myself, but I'm a big fan of the Baja Lime. I think that's what that is.
Just had one of those today, actually. Yeah,
they were in the Luke gas station fridge.
I saw that. I did see that. I'm actually probably gonna, if I get my paycheck this weekend, I'm gonna be stocking up when I get.
Look who's chiming in the chat. My buddy, my co-host,
Ricky!
He says grape bubblegum is the GOAT.
Oh, amen. Grape bubblegum's really fucking good too. It's literally big league chew.
I gave Tuck some of the pre-workout too, and he said he enjoyed it as well. I don't think you
Arrow?
used. Do you? Yeah, Broken Arrow. That's what it is. Have you tried that too?
I haven't tried that yet. I didn't get that with my ambassador pack.
Oh, I guess Gags and Overtime Sports Network kind of a big deal. So head to repsports.com, use promo code OTSN at checkout, and you will save some money there. But an update first on the podcast here, Ian. As some of you may know, I do this show with Jim Tucker. Most of you that are watching know that my co-host is Jim Tucker. But he's been a little busy lately, and for the past few months, he's been in the baseball season. But unfortunately, his boys lost today. Your former teammates, what happened there, Ian? How did Couts go down this early?
How did they go down this early? I mean, I don't know. It was I mean, I don't know if he really wants me to talk about it. This is kind of up to him, you know what I mean? But
you don't have to.
Just kind of the wheels were rolling. I'll say this: the wheels were rolling throughout the game, and then the wheels fell off 1/2 inning, and they stayed off. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to,
That's
it was
fair.
A fun game for a while. I will say that it was.
Were you there?
I was there. I did go. I called off work to get there.
Hey, hopefully your work's not watching on YouTube right now.
Yeah, no, we're good.
But we aren't officially dead here at the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, but things are definitely on pause at the moment. Tuck has some things going on in his life over the next few months that we probably will update the listeners in the future. But for now, OTM is kind of on pause. We may do these live videos if I can get you or Mikey Wilson or maybe even Bogus to chime in. But we're going to try to work out some recording times here in the future. So follow us on Twitter at Pot on the Mark to keep up with us. I just want people to know OTM is not dead, Ian.
We are very much alive.
We are alive, and you are representing Tucky this evening. So we are here to talk about AEW's Double or Nothing happening this Sunday. Ian, overall excitement heading into Sunday's pay-per-view, 1 through 10. Where are you sitting at?
I'll give it a good 7.8. 7.8, you know what I mean? I mean, like, the only reason it's not higher, like all the matches, this match card, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good one.
Don't like that view.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it was just so close to that the Blood and Guts kind of special they had, you know, like what, we're 3 weeks out from it?
3 weeks. What did you think of Blood and Guts?
I did watch, the only match I watched was the Blood and Guts match, actually, and I actually really liked it. I think they did a good job with it. They didn't try too hard to be like a War Games type of thing, you know, because the War Games match, it was all, it was Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, it was his match, you know, that was
Dustin Rhodes, yeah.
Yeah, and they brought it back, and I think they did a really good job doing it. They didn't try to do an NXT thing of, you know, some like good spots. It was a good story, you know what I mean? And not that NXT doesn't do a good story with their War Games. It's just because they do. They, you know, I don't know. There was no losers there.
That's not how you say War Games. It's War Games.
I will not yell right now.
You're still living with the parents. That's understandable. Ian's home for the summer right now. He's got an internship, so he's living at home. What the build for me is kind of lacking in the excitement level. I sit like at like a 5. Like you said, the card's very strong. Top to bottom, you can't pick out really a weak match in it. But I feel like a lot of these matches, more than half of this card, maybe the last month, kind of thrown together last minute. I'm not saying that's going to take away anything from the pay-per-view as a whole, because we know we've watched every single AEW pay-per-view. They always deliver it. They really haven't had a bad show. Yes, there's hiccups from time to time, but that shit happens. But the build for me, I think I'm going to come out on this take, Ian. The worst build going into an AEW pay-per-view to date. Right,
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of, it was kind of like getting into the whole WWE thing. I think AEW has done a really good job with their 4 big pay-per-views in being able to spread out. Like we kind of saw it with Sting, how it kind of got stretched out when he first got there.
Yep.
It with Team Taz. Again, it was ultimately a really great match in the end, in the cinematic match.
Cinematic, yeah.
But I don't know, this sort of, we're starting to see how a company could get so dive into the quick kind of pay-per-view-ish matches and shows a month after each other, and we can see that happening right now, where it kind of feels like that WWE thing of throw something together right away, see if you get a good match out of it, and hope it sticks instead of getting a good storyline and knowing that it will be good.
Now, there's a couple good storylines going on this card that have been built over time, like the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. The world title match, not really, but Hikaru, Shida, and Britt Baker, you could say there's been some sort of build there. They've been building up Britt Baker ever since she came back from her return. But what we're going to start off talking about here, we're going to go right into the card right now. The 21-man Casino Battle Royal, where the winner will receive a future AEW World Championship match. Some of the contestants we know right now, Ian, are Jungle Boy, Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Private Party, Matt Hardy, Dustin Rhodes, Brian Pillman, and Penta El Cerro Miedo, to name a few. There's always that Joker. We know that over the past couple years at Double or Nothing, that surprise entrant. You have free agents out there like Andrade, like Daniel Bryan. Nick Gage is a name being thrown out there that I don't really know much about, but he's been on dark side of the ring.
Yeah, he's just a hardcore legend.
So you know a little bit about Nick Gage?
A little bit, yeah. Not a lot. Just kind of watching some of his hardcore matches, you know. But he's older though, and he's kind of more got that legend. I don't know if they need another guy like that. We have Moxley. He is a hardcore guy. People kind of forget about that with him going to WWE. He was
Kingston's that same style as well.
Kingston as well, yeah. You know, I don't think they really need another guy like that. But if they do go with that, I could see it happening. But I don't think that's going to be the way they go with it. I do have a prediction.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I do think it's going to be Alex Hammerstone. The guy's been
Okay.
teasing it, and he's been unstoppable on the indies, which, again, it's the indies. But when you're built, like, I don't think he's lost a match, and he's been I think it's like the MLW champion.
Yeah, that sounds right. MLW, yeah.
He's been over a year now, a year and a half, I think. If they sign, I mean, even just like a short-term deal, and this guy is he's a big dude. He is a big dude.
I've seen some pictures.
He's going to be a huge star, and he's really young too. I think he's just in his 30s now. So I think he could be a huge star.
If it is a guy like him, say he is the Joker, he's probably not winning, right?
No, he would have a good showing. It'd be kind of like I don't know. We've had so many where it's kind of like that, where it's a AEW new showcase. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could go. It has to be Christian Cage, though. I mean, that's what I'm getting to get at.
The moral of the story is,
Right.
I think that this match just has Christian Cage written all over it. And sometimes the obvious thing is the right thing. And it seems like the smart way to go. They've hinted towards doing Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. They've had their segments on AEW Dynamite. You look around that list that we see, yeah, Penta winning would be cool. Rey Fenix Jr., sure. There's other names out there like Jungle Boy who has moments. He's gotten down to the end in matches like this with a guy like Rey Fenix Jr., but when you have a name like Christian, you just brought him over. You say he's outworking everyone. You make a big deal about him debuting at your last pay-per-view. He's got to be the winner, right?
Mm. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it, honestly.
And I also think if it's Andrade or Daniel Bryan that were to show up in that Joker position, they would have to win.
Right. I think it's way too early.
Yeah.
There's no way. I think Andrade is going to be going around in different companies, smaller companies, and maybe trying to build himself back up.
He has a AAA, I believe, World Championship match with Kenny Omega, right?
That is true. Yeah. So I think he'll spend some more time outside of bigger companies for a little while.
And that's the smart thing to do. Matt Cardona's kind of done stuff like that with Impact. We will see him next Saturday at Warrior Wrestling. Can you believe that is next Saturday? Yeah, just me and you. We're just gonna be hanging out, guys being dudes, but that's just fine.
Guys being dudes.
It's 35 minutes away. Like, why the hell not go to that show?
Right.
So both of us for the Casino Battle Royal, we are both going with Christian Cage to win this, and if he has that world title match, we both probably are picking Kenny Omega regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. So there's that one. We're gonna move on to a singles matchup. Not much on the line here. Probably just in the terms of rankings in AEW. You got Adam Hangman Page taking on Brian Cage. I know you are a big fan of Brian Cage, but does it make sense for him to win this match, or do you think Hangman gets his revenge? Because Brian Cage did beat Page on Dynamite a few weeks ago.
See, I think this one could actually go either way, in my opinion. Do they save Page and Omega for later? Is that going to come along the line a little bit further? They're going to save that for maybe All Out or something, which is coming up. It's coming up in a few months. It is in Chicago. But I don't know. Brian Cage hasn't had his match yet. He hasn't had that big win yet. This could be it. This could be his big push. They were hinting the breaking out of Taz,
Yeah.
I think
who will stop the path of Cage?
I honestly, if I'm going to be honest, this might be a hot take, but I think Cage has got the better chance of winning this.
So you're picking Cage.
I got Cage.
Okay. I like your thinking, though. I think everybody's on that same mindset that Hangman is probably going to be the one to eventually take on Kenny Omega. But I think if we're going to get to that point, Page has to get his revenge against Cage. There's a lot of ages going around. You got Ethan Page, you got Christian Cage, Brian Cage. They're all in the same family, but Adam Hangman Page needs to win this matchup right here. I think this is going to be one of the better matchups of the night because we've seen firsthand Brian Cage can go. Mm-hmm. And we also know Adam Hangman Page is one of the best wrestlers. I personally think he's the best in AEW right now. So for me personally, I want to see it. I think it needs to happen so we can eventually get to Kenny Omega versus Adam Page. Adam Page is going to have to win here against Brian Cage. So that's my pick here. You're going with Cage. I'm going with Paige. God, thank God we don't have to say that for. I'm surprised I haven't fucked up saying that, to be honest with you. I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since we've recorded,
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while since I've talked about AEW in general.
Yeah, us too. I think even when Tuck and we did our last couple episodes, we were on the road to WrestleMania. So we were mainly talking WWE and NXT. So this is the first time I've been able to talk AEW in a while either. So if my feed goes out in the middle of this too, Ian, I'll be back. I'll make my way in there. It's my internet. Don't worry. So the next matchup, though, that we're going to talk about here is an interesting one. Cody Rhodes taking on Anthony Ogogo. Now, Ethan, we actually have talked about this a little bit off of air, that Ogogo seems like a guy that AEW plans on pushing heavy, don't you think?
Ogogo, I personally love his character. I think his professional boxing, how good he was in boxing, people actually don't realize how good he was as a boxer. He brings a legitimacy, and he knows. It's kind of like if Conor McGregor came to WWE. He understands the mindset in the storytelling of the business, and this man he's doing it really well. My only issue with this feud is they're really pushing it to be the boxing fight feel, which I like it. I think it's a cool idea. But Cody Rhodes is not the guy to do it against, I mean, I get the America versus...
He is taking the American Dream moniker for this match of his dad. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I thought you were actually going to bring up, is that kind of the build between these two has been weird. And it's kind of been sorted around country pride, which seems to be an outdated concept for me personally. Like, that stuff worked in the 80s and the 90s. And hell, even the early 2000s when John Cena was the one on the show that broke the news that we captured Osama bin Laden. That country pride was relevant. And nowadays in 2021, it's there, but to bring it into storylines, it's a touchy subject nowadays, So the build, questionable, but the match and what could come of it, I think is very exciting. So speaking of the match itself, what are you expecting to see, and who do you think comes out on top?
I really am behind Ogogo. I say go on Ogogo. I got Ogogo winning this year.
That's weird. I'm actually going to agree with you. I think it's got to be Anthony Ogogo. I think Cody Rhodes has been put in that position to be the leader of the locker room, and he knows what's best for business is putting over other talent. Because sure, you can get all these guys from WWE, these former superstars, but you need to develop your own talent. Right. And Anthony Ogogo could be that guy. And I think, like you brought up, the legitimacy factor, that punch. Sometimes all it takes is one punch. What if he goes out there, delivers one knockout punch to Cody Rhodes? This match is over in a minute.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I was going to say something about that. This match, if any, could be a squash match. And, and I would be 100% behind it. I would think it would be great storytelling. I like Anthony's chances in this. They built such a good heel with him, and he's done really great work, and I think he deserves a really good push, even though he's
got
just
people around him too.
Right. He's got a genuinely good, like it. If you go on Twitter, you could see the British versus America, and that's actually working. I love it.
It works on social media, yeah. So and it also makes sense to me because I think Cody Rhodes' kid is due soon, and obviously I think he's going to want a little bit of a break, and then eventually, like we talked about, I believe. Maybe even during Wiffle Ball this weekend, eventually Cody Rhodes will find a way to get into the world title picture. He will earn an opportunity. That whole thing where he can never have a match, he's going to earn a chance to have a match. So you don't need that right now. Anthony Ogogo goes over. Me and you are in agreement once again on that match. So I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised we both agreed on that one. So the next matchup we're going to talk about here, this is one of those matches that kind of got thrown together last minute. It's Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. I believe this one is going to be an actual match, which is going to make it the first match that Sting is having in front of a live crowd in over a decade, or not a decade, about 6 years, because he had a match at Survivor Series. I believe,
and WrestleMania, too.
And WrestleMania, correct.
That was a send-off.
I'm going to make this one short and sweet. I'll go first here. I think it's Sting and Darby Allin just based off of that fact. As much as I would like to see All Ego, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky, because I like the pairing. I think they got a little bit of chemistry there and potential. It's just not the right time with fans coming back. They want to see Sting win. Darby Allin just had a tough loss against Miro. I think they need a bounce back. So I'm going with Sting and Darby Allin. What says you?
I'm in a full agreement with you, and the reason I say that is, again, I look for the afterthought. I look of what they could do after this. I think it's going to bring up an amazing feud between Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Afterwards, it's going to be. I think those guys have a great match written all over them, great storyline. They could tell it. Both of them have great promos. So no. I like the whole idea of Darby going to bounce back because he always does. That's his character. That's literally his character.
His song is "I Fell." Well, you got to get back up. That's just what happens.
And I think he's going to get back up and go back after the TNT Championship. But
yeah,
we'll get back on that later. That'll be later down the line. But
we got a couple more matches to that.
Yeah.
So
I got Page and Sky. We're losing.
We got Sting and Darby Allin on that one as well. We may differ here. This is a championship match that we are going to talk about. The AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks, the champs, taking on Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I've talked to you about this once again. I think the Bucks are good. I've never been a fan of them. But the elite stuff for me, I'm tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore. I think it's just overplayed now. I think we need to move on in a different direction. I like what Moxley and Kingston are doing on TV. I like the promos they've been cutting. They obviously have chemistry from the past. I'm going with new champions here. I'm going with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston to become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Well, we're in a lot of agreements today.
Really?
I got Moxley and Kingston. They said it before, and this is the thing though. And it's not necessarily like a storyline thing. I think this is actually more out of the whole behind the or it's actually more behind the scenes. I think because they said it before in a bunch of interviews. Kingston wants a strap of some sort. He doesn't care what it is. He said it before. He's even wanted to go with Moxley at some point. This was way before he even joined AEW. Yeah. He wanted to be with Moxley again. I think they got him a champ just to give Kingston his dues, man. The guy has been through so much. He deserves some gold. This is outside of storylines and stuff. Again, they're a great team in general, so they have a lot of crowd backing.
And then Kingston survived that exploding barbed wire death match.
It's true. It was huge.
He almost died.
Boom! It was about that loud too, actually.
It was not good. I don't want to relive that ever again. But yeah, I like what they've been doing recently on Dynamite. I think it's one of the better things going. Moxley, former world champion, so him being paired with Kingston, I think it's just all around good stuff. So to see another title change here on the show would be great. We're both going with Moxley and Eddie Kingston become the new world champions. And we might both be in agreement here once again. The women's championship match, Hikaru Shida taking on Britt Baker. Can you believe it that Shida has been women's champion for over a year now?
Been a long year. I'll say that. My gosh.
You're out on Shida, right?
Oh, way out. I've been out for a while. I liked her for maybe a month, maybe a month and a half. It was the only fact. The reason was that she took the belt off of Nyla. There hasn't been a real champ. Nyla was a good champion, but she was just one of those dominating champions where it was kind of like, and she wasn't that great of a wrestler. It was kind of like a Nyla Jax, where it's just
kind of like, I don't know if you know this. Oh, you do know Awesome Kong, but she was Karma in WWE.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
What?
Internet's going.
Is it?
Oh. Uh-oh.
Are we alive?
Wait, there you go. You're back. You're good.
Okay. All right. Keep going about Nyla or whatever.
Yeah, no, she wasn't that great of a champion in my opinion, and I think they really need a breather for that division. That division's really changed it around. I think it's a scene. They have a lot of good stars around the whole roster, really. So yeah, no, there's no way I'd bet $1 million on Britt Baker winning this. There's no way, and I'd love to see them prove me wrong. I would really like it, but yeah, Britt needs this.
I think I've been saying this since AEW started. You can check my Twitter. Just search @2SweetKyle and then type in the words Baker next to 2SweetKyle. I've been claiming for her to be the champion ever since this company started up because from day one, she's had the best character. She has the best look. She has the best presence when she goes out there. She exudes championship material. She is the face of the AEW women's division. It is time. Shida did what she could do. to be fair, Shida was dealing with the women's division in the hardest time through the pandemic. They really didn't have many stars. Now they had Jade Cargill. Now they have Red Velvet. There's Thunder Rosa. They're starting to add more and more talent, and that's just going to be great for Britt Baker to take on. I think Britt's going to have a lot of challengers.
And I will say, I will give credit to where credit's due. Hikaru Shida, as much as I like to bash on her, she like when she was champion, she did not speak a lot of English at all, like at all. And then they threw the strap on her because she was the best, I guess the best technically working wrestler that they had at the moment because they were so limited, especially on the women's roster.
Remember when Thunder wasn't even there, and it was
right.
She was kind of just facing Nyla Rose every week, and like the bunny would pop in on occasion, and that was about it. That was in Penelope Ford. She had a title match.
Oh, I forgot about Penelope Ford. Yeah,
can you believe Penelope Ford had a title match?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, now she's just a manager.
That's no offense to her. She's talented, but that's probably where she should be. But Britt Baker, DMD, should be the face of TNT and AEW, win the women's championship. And I wish she could have a longer reign than Shida, but I don't know how you go longer than a year.
No way. Yeah, no, there's no way. That's my only thing is I don't know why they gave her such a long reign. You know, it's now you have to top. Someone has to top that at some point, but I don't think it'll be the next champion or even the champion after that.
But hey, I do believe, and that is the biggest guarantee of the show, that Britt Baker will be AEW Women's Champion. So we got 3 more matches here to talk about, and then we'll wrap things up. The TNT Championship, Miro, the new champion, taking on Lance Archer. Archer really, kind of like Brian Cage, is still looking for that big win in AEW. Ian, do you think he gets it here against Miro, or is this way too soon?
I'm actually going to say it's too soon. Miro has been he's a great champion. We didn't ever get to really see it in WWE. I mean, at all, right?
I saw for a little bit when he was U.S. champion and feuded with Cena.
Yeah.
But that was probably the big part of it.
Yeah, but no, I don't think. I'm plain and simple. I don't think Miro. It's going to be a really good match. It's going to be a close one. Be a lot of good spots during it. But I think Miro will keep the strap.
Yeah, it's hard for me. As much as I would like to see Lance Archer win, I think Miro needed this belt more than anyone on the roster right now, because that feud that they had with the Best Friends was just meh. It kind of dragged, and they didn't really know what to do with Miro. Now he's kind of away from Kip Sabian. He's on his own, and he can look like a legitimate badass. Lance Archer is also a legitimate badass. It's just poor timing to have this matchup, I think, because Lance really doesn't need this loss. He really needs a win.
Now that I think of it, I think what they're going to do with this, because this is just a normal championship match, no holds barred, and there's no holds barred or any stipulations like that. I could see Lance Archer losing from disqualification.
I'm trying to think. Has he had any interactions with another superstar that can maybe cost him?
Darby.
Darby
comes back in. I mean, it wasn't with Lance Archer, but it was with Miro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could get involved in that way. It's just too soon for me. I agree with you. Yeah. I think Miro's going to retain. It's going to be big men bumping me. I know Ryan Vogus, who said he's watching. He doesn't know how to interact with us, but he is watching us live right now. He would probably enjoy this one. I hope he's going to join us on Sunday, as we'll be watching it right here. We'll be watching it right here at my place. So we're both going with Miro in the TNT Championship match. I'm going to have us talk about this one first, because I also think this one is obvious. The last match, I believe, could go either way. So we're going to talk about the AEW World Championship match. The champion, Kenny Omega, taking on Orange Cassidy and Pac. And how we got here was Pac and Orange Cassidy had a one-on-one number 1 contendership match on Dynamite, ended in a no contest. So now they're thrown together. This is obviously just a way for Kenny to retain. He's probably going to pin Orange Cassidy. I think it's easy. And like I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of the elite stuff. So the Kenny Omega title reign, for me, I haven't enjoyed much. But you, on the other hand, you're still buying into this whole elite thing, and you're liking the run that Kenny's having, right?
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job with It's not necessarily they're trying too hard to be that serious heel faction. It's kind of like with the Young Bucks, they do a great job of getting cheap heat and they get it to the point where it's kind of like funny. It's kind of like a CM Punk type of heel where
Fair.
You understand that they're trying to be a heel, but they're not trying super hard to make you hate them. It's kind of like it's I don't know. It's kind of like that one kid in school that would kind of like give you a jab in the arm when you walk by and be like, haha, it's one of those kind of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what do I just put up on our feed? New bio. They tweeted out
yeah. It's just funny now. It's not even like they're trying. They know no one actually hates it.
I kind of hate it.
And again, here's the thing.
But
they're succeeding. It's working. Yeah. If you're hating how they're getting cheap heat, they're a good heel. That's how it is. They're working it really well. So
in this match, I'm assuming you're going with Kenny?
Yeah, no, Omega's not losing this. My question to you, though, if he does lose it, who does he lose it to?
It's got to be Pac.
Right, yeah.
I think Pac, technically, on that roster, is probably the most gifted. He endless possibilities with anyone. You put him in the ring. He is just so good. We saw it in WWE and NXT and on the main roster when he was the king of the cruiserweights. He was the best thing on TV. They're going to probably try to build up Pac once again because I believe he's kind of, ever since he came back from overseas after the pandemic started to slow down a little bit, they're trying to find a little bit of a footing there with the Death Triangle. Mm-hmm. So if it were to be anyone, it'd be him. I don't think Orange Cassidy ever wins the world championship in this company.
No, I could see him winning the TNT a little bit further down the line, or maybe another strap that they come up with, but I don't think they even will. But again, yeah, I don't see him winning this. So maybe way down the line. But go ahead.
So after this, though, so say Kenny pins Orange at the next show at All Out. Is it Hangman Page? Is that who he faces? But because you pick Cage, if Cage beats him, I think Cage has more gripe than Page.
Here's the thing. You also got the Casino Battle Royale.
Christian Cage.
You have Christian Cage or even Hammerstone. I don't think I actually went over Battle Royale. So how are we doing that? Because if Alex Hammerstone is debuting, I have him winning.
Well, we're not doing a competition anymore because the belts aren't going around.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
For obvious reasons.
Right.
But we'll count it between me and you. We can do a friendly wager on it.
Okay.
I'll go back and look at this. I'm going to say the Joker, though, in that match. Fuck. Did I ever say who I thought the Joker was going to be?
You threw names around. But you said Nick Gage. God, that's hard. I hate that.
I'll just go with him. I'll just go with him. I don't know who it's going to be.
Nick Cage and Nick. God, I hate it.
We can do something other than an age at the end. But
yeah.
We're going to go with Kenny Omega in that World Championship match, which then takes us to what I would say is the main event, because since we know what's probably going to happen in the world title match, the Stadium Stampede, number 2. This one's between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. The stipulation is if the Inner Circle loses, they have to disband. They are done. Now, 3 weeks ago, Ian, we saw them go at it at Blood and Guts. Now we get to see them go at it in a Stadium Stampede match. I feel like the spacing's a little weird there. I wish we would have got a bigger gap, because if you're trying to sell Blood and Guts as being this, very strenuous and physical match, it's going to take more than 3 weeks to recover from it. Mm-hmm. But that's just me thinking with my stupid Mark brain that I have. I am excited for the Stadium Stampede, but you have to assume this can't all be, videotaped. It can't be cinematic. We have a crowd there. You can't have them watch it on the Jumbotron.
Right.
Some of this has to be live, right?
Right. That is true.
What are you thinking here? So we have that stipulation. Hi, Vogus. I just threw your thing up on the chat. Nice to see you in there. I know you've been in here. What are you thinking on this one as a whole?
Oh, man, this is definitely the hardest to go by. So the Pinnacle got their big win, but God, it's so hard to go with this one.
You got to flip a coin.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go with the Pinnacle winning again. And here's my reasons why. Jericho understands the business. He understands when a feud is dragged on for too long. But again, it could go on the other side. He likes a long-time storytelling, but I think that's what he's getting with the MJF and Jericho. But Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Pinnacle winning
I thought
this.
you were gonna flip flop.
No, I gotta go with Pinnacle winning this.
Who is gonna be the cause of victory? Do you think it's a guy like Wardlow? Because MJF kind of had his moment at Blood and Guts, or do you think this is just going to be MJF all the way?
No, it's going to end with MJF and Jericho again. But yeah, no, I think everyone's going to have their great moments. But yeah, I don't know. Now I'm flipping back and I'm thinking,
oh, here he goes. They call him Flip Floppy and G here.
Because they could keep this going.
Remember, they're gone forever. The inner circle is not a thing anymore.
Right.
That's it. See ya.
So okay, I didn't see it. Is if the Pinnacle loses, do they have to disband?
No, they're good.
That's not to be. Oh, that makes this even harder.
Yeah, that's why the stipulations where they get you here. And that's what makes the wheels turn, because you look at one side of things, you're like, oh, it makes sense for just to end this feud, and move on. But it also makes sense to let's prolong this a little bit more, because no members of the Pinnacle, no members of the Inner Circle have any belts.
Right.
Wow, look at that. Ryan Vogus. This is Ian's best pod performance of all time.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or if that's...
No, it's real. It's real. I know when he's being serious. He's being serious. It's because it's more or less of a pod. It's just more of us shooting the shit.
It's just, shooting the shit, as they'd say.
That's how we do it, shooting the breeze. So are you going to flip-flop here, or are you sticking with the Pinnacle?
No, I got to stick with the Pinnacle winning this.
And
it's going to bite me in the butt later. But
do you think this is going to be full cinematic, full live, or a mixture of both?
I can see it being a mixture of both, actually, and kind of doing like a behind the scenes type of thing where it goes through and it actually ends in the ring, like actually in the stadium, because it's right there. It's literally right next to it. So I can see
attached. Yeah, it's attached.
So I don't know.
The Pinnacle.
My question actually for you.
Yeah, I haven't picked yet, by the way.
Yeah. So last year, the Stadium Stampede, it was more of a comedy kind of sketch, That's when the Inner Circle wasn't. They were supposed to be serious, but everyone knew it was kind of more of a comedy act at that point, because they tried to get really serious and tough. And then the Elite came along, and Matt Hardy came and brought that comedy, and it kind of just took off from there. What I'm trying to get at is, do you think this is going to be more serious and be more of a blood feud, or do you think this is going to have some fun moments?
It's got to have fun moments, because I think what you're getting with Stadium Stampede is a little bit of comedy every time. They're going to have that spot that gets the internet talking about it, that sound or that video clip that'll get retweeted. There's got to be that moment. But this, from the start with the Pinnacle, with MJF and Jericho, has always been a blood feud, so they have to have that storyline consistency. So I think it's going to be more serious, but you will have one or two spots you laugh at, or you're like, holy shit, that was funny as hell. So, I think you're going to get a mixture of both, but more serious than the first one for sure. That's a good question. But for me personally, and let's go back all the way to the beginning. Inner Circle has been with AEW since day one, virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Like this has been the stable in AEW. Now we are starting to see more and more stables come about. You got the Nightmare Collective, the Factory. You got all these other factions, FTW with Team Taz, blah, yada, 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 Jurassic Express. There's tons of them. My point is, I think the Inner Circle has ran its course. I think it is time for the Inner Circle to go their separate ways. Santana Ortiz, they need a tag feud with the belts. Mm-hmm. This is one of the best tag teams in the world, and they really haven't got that legitimate chance, that legitimate feud, just focused on them and just focused on the other champions.
Right.
We need to get to that. So that's one thing. Sammy Guevara, ever since that incident passed and he apologized, has been one of the biggest faces going for AEW on television. People love Sammy Guevara. Put him after the TNT Championship. Have him go against Miro. Have him go against Lance Archer. That baby face that people can attach themselves to with Sammy Guevara, he can go up against all those big heels with the TNT title. Mm-hmm. Jericho, Hager, they're big enough names they can do stuff on their own. My point is, the Pinnacle is the Pinnacle for a reason. We need to get past this feud. We need to move on. The Pinnacle needs to move on, because they need to legitimize that faction with gold.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a great faction if you don't have titles.
Right.
You're saying you're the pinnacle of wrestling. Where's that? Where's your tag team champions? Where's the TNT championship? You gotta get this win. You have to end the inner circle. Everybody goes off and do their separate ways. The pinnacle stands tall. They win this feud. And that's how I think AEW Double or Nothing ends.
Right. So what? This all comes down to the Casino Battle Royale then.
Why?
So it comes down.
Did we really pick that much similar?
I think so. Oh wait, who did you have, John? Yeah, you had Mox. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Moxley and Kingston. I thought you were gonna go Bucks.
No. I genuinely think they need to put the strap. They want to put the strap on Eddie, so or something, you know.
So yeah, we'll be playing some Orbital on Sunday. That'll take up a lot of our day for Memorial Day weekend, and then we are gonna head right here at OTSN HQ to watch Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I'm pretty excited about it. It usually takes me to talk about it, to get excited about it, because like we said at the beginning of the show, Ian, strong card from top to bottom.
Right. This is going to be one of the best wrestling cards, not necessarily story, but again, this is going to be, if you're wanting to watch some good wrestling, this is where you're going to want to go Sunday. So, yeah, I am really looking forward to it.
You know, they say this belt doesn't travel, but maybe, just maybe, I will put it on the line. I haven't decided, but I will maybe call out any challengers that want to come after this. Maybe I'll be a coward and just hold on to it. Maybe I'll be like the FTW champion Brian Cage and just never defend it. You know, I could do that. You never know what will happen. But Ian, any final remarks going to Double or Nothing this Sunday?
Just again, I think we're kind of starting to move past the whole WWE versus AEW thing.
Thank God.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get to the point where people are realizing AEW is here to stay. But yeah, enjoy wrestling. We're having fun out here.
After that comment, I will not be defending this championship. This championship's going to sit right on my shoulder, Ryan.
Wow.
Ian will never get to touch it. I have a toy belt in the other room. Maybe I'll put that on the line. And you can hold
that little one that I owned for a while.
That's more of your stature. This right here. This belongs to me. This is where the big boys play right here. But no,
at least bring it to Leroy. At least
I am bringing the little belt, and I am going to pass it around for every home run.
Oh, I like that.
That is a new thing that All Elite Wiffle will be happening coming next week. So, Ian, I want to thank you for joining me. It was kind of last minute, but this was a good time.
Yeah, it was. I was really happy to be here. I appreciate you having me in. Talk a little bit of wrestling, shoot the shit.
So if I ever need an AEW guy, I might go back to you because, like I said, we won't be recording podcasts for a little bit. We are not dead. Can confirm, not dead, but we will be back. So I may be reaching out to you again. But that's all we have for you guys. That's the card for Double or Nothing. Ian, once again, thank you for joining me. Vogus, thank you for tuning in. Tuck, I saw you there. I appreciate you as well. So until next time, take it easy, everyone, and enjoy Double or Nothing.
Sup.